Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. After being deemed too controversial, a popular national comic strip was left out of many weekend newspapers for poking fun at Muslim fundamentalists. The Washington Post and several other major newspapers decided to cut the comic Opus from the weekend's news. Editors from the Washington Post have declined to comment on the decision to pull the strip, but sources tell Fox that the paper gauged the reaction of Muslim staffers before making the final determination. Joining us now, the author of America Alone, syndicated columnist Mark Steyn. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, Alan, good to talk with you.
Thank you, sir.
The female character in this strip, Lola Granola, who's prone to adopting fads, and the fad she happens to adopt this particular week is as a Muslim woman.
Right.
And there's something very important here. If even the mildest jokes about Islam are off the table,
right,
that is really a big question, because jokes are one of the things that bind a culture.
Right.
If you can't have jokes about everybody in society, if one group is hedged off and protected, then that group can never truly be integrated.
I actually agree with you.
This isn't a First Amendment issue. This is really about something more insidious. And I call it in my book creeping shari'a. It's the fact that it's so trivial and unimportant that makes it important, because this is how you lose quietly. You concede a little inch, half inch of ground every day until finally you realize that the rules for talking about Islam, which after all is the faith of 1/6 of the population of the planet, something like that, are completely different from the rules for talking about everybody else.
Well, you say creeping shari'a.
Once it becomes generally accepted that the rules for making a gag about Muslims are different from the rules about making a gag about Christians or Jews or Buddhists or whoever, that in itself is quite a big concession.
Hey, Mark, Sean here. Welcome back to the program. Thanks for being with us here. I think the issue here is, why are so many people seemingly intimidated by groups like CARE, the unindicted co-conspirator group? Is it that they fear, they don't want the bad press? It seems like there's real intimidation at work here, no?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, these Danish cartoonists who published those Muhammad cartoons are still in hiding, still under police protection, and I think that's the difference. If you put a play about a gay Jesus on Broadway, there'll be some Catholics on the sidewalk holding placards, and people here are worried that it's going to be a lot stronger. And you make a very good point, Sean, as well, that it's our cravenness, I think, has implications for the Muslim community too. You know, we talk all the time about where are the moderate Muslims. Why don't the moderate Muslims speak out? Well, when the moderate Muslims see the Washington Post not even daring to run the mildest jest about Islam, they think, well, you'd have to be, if the Washington Post is scared of these guys, why should we be expected to speak out?
We have crucifixes submerged in urine. We have, horse dung throw on the Virgin Mary, et cetera, et cetera. That came up. But, look at what's happening in reverse. Do you think these newspapers maybe are looking at guys like Salman Rushdie when he wrote the satanic verses and the fatwa that had been issued against him, or the flying imams and the lawsuit against John Doe's in that particular case because they dared to inform authorities that they saw or witnessed suspicious behavior?
Yes, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, you talk about Salman Rushdie. He's a famous guy. He's under protection. People forget about all the publishers and translators in Japan and Scandinavia and Italy and all over the map who got stabbed and shot and killed simply because of their association with this book. And that's the fact. That is what is really at issue here, this appeasement of every little thing. Whether it's this soccer ball in Afghanistan that American troops were handing out and turned out to be offensive, or whether it's Burger King ice cream in the UK that offends Muslims. They can't keep taking offense at everything.